Right now, as you watch this video, 49% of all vehicles currently on American roads have at least one warning light illuminated on the dashboard. That number comes from KMD's 2024 Vehicle Health Index, the largest annual study of vehicle health conducted in the United States, compiled from millions of real repair records, nearly half of all cars. And of those, 20%, 1 in 5 vehicles on the road, have the check engine light on specifically. That is not a small number. That is approximately 56 million check engine lights, glowing orange on dashboards across the country right now. Stay with me. I'm Tyler Williams. Most people know me as Motor Grease Monkey. 15 years in garages, plugging in scanners and seeing the same warning lights drivers ignore every single day. In rush hour traffic, on school runs, on highway commutes, on vehicles that their owners have been staring at for days, weeks, and in millions of cases, months, doing nothing. A 2024 survey of 2,000 American car owners, conducted by OnePoll on behalf of Pep Boys, found that the average American ignores their check engine light for 4 months before doing anything about it. 4 months. And 20% of drivers admit to ignoring it for between 6 and 18 months. The reason is not laziness. The reason is fear. Specifically, the fear of sitting in a dealership service waiting room and walking out with a bill that starts at $150. Just to find out what the light means, before a single part has been touched, before a single hour of labor has been billed, before the actual repair has even been discussed. The diagnostic fee, the charge that the automotive service industry collects, simply for plugging a device into a port under your steering wheel, and reading information that your car has been storing, transmitting, and making available for free, since the day it left the factory. That fear, the fear of the diagnostic fee, is what is keeping 56 million check engine lights on. It is what is turning $150 repairs into $1,300 repairs every single day across the United States. And the fix, the complete elimination of that fear, costs exactly nothing and takes under 5 minutes. Here is what nobody told you. Every auto parts store in the United States, AutoZone, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Advance Auto Parts, will read your check engine light codes for free. No appointment, no fee, no obligation to purchase anything. You drive in, ask the associate for a scan. They walk out with a handheld device, plug it into the diagnostic port under your steering wheel, and within 30 seconds your car's computer tells them exactly which fault codes it has been storing. They print it out, hand it to you, and you walk away knowing what your car knows. AutoZone calls their service Fix Finder. O'Reilly calls it their check engine light service. Advance Auto Parts offers the same thing. All of them free. All of them available today, right now, at over 10,000 locations across the country. The dealership charges between $100 and $175. For access to information these stores will hand you on a printed sheet for nothing. That is the entire secret. That is the free scan. And the reason the majority of the 56 million drivers, currently ignoring a check engine light, do not know it exists, is that the dealership has no financial interest in telling them. And the auto parts stores are not advertising it loudly enough to penetrate the fear that keeps those 56 million people paralyzed. But understanding the free scan is only half the picture. The other half is understanding what the check engine light is actually trying to tell you, because the fear surrounding it is built almost entirely on the worst-case scenario. And the worst-case scenario is far less common than the industry's $1,300 average repair bill would lead you to believe. Here is how the check engine light actually works. Your car's onboard diagnostic system, mandated on every vehicle sold in the United States since 1996, runs continuous self-checks on every emissions, fuel, and drivetrain system in the vehicle. When a sensor reading falls outside the acceptable range, the system stores a diagnostic trouble code, an alphanumeric identifier that pinpoints the system at fault, and illuminates the check engine light to tell you it has done so. That code is sitting in your car's computer right now. It is waiting to be read. It is not dangerous to retrieve. It is not going to cost you anything to find out what it says. It is information, sitting in a machine you own, that an industry has successfully convinced you requires a paid intermediary to access. The codes break down into 2 categories that change everything about how you should respond. A steady check engine light, the light that sits solidly on your dashboard without flickering, means the system has detected a fault and has logged it. The car is drivable. The fault may be minor or it may be developing towards something more serious. You have time to get the free scan, understand what the code says, and make a rational decision. A flashing check engine light, one that pulses or blinks while you drive, is a different situation entirely. A flashing light means the system has detected an active engine misfire, severe enough to damage the catalytic converter right now, in real time. When you see a flashing check engine light, you minimize driving immediately and seek professional service. Do not ignore a flashing light, but a steady light, the kind that the majority of those 56 million drivers are looking at, is not a reason to panic. It is a reason to drive to the nearest auto parts store today and find out what the code says for free. Now here is the part that makes the 4-month delay genuinely expensive. Average US check engine repairs typically land in the low $400 range. When handled promptly, top causes remain catalytic converter efficiency codes, oxygen sensor faults, evap leaks, and ignition issues, according to KMD. But delayed misfire-related damage can require catalytic converter replacement. That commonly runs $1,300 to $2,500 or more. Read that again. Addressed promptly, an average repair of $400. Ignored for 4 months, a catalytic converter replacement starting at $1,300. The check engine light is not destroying your car. The decision to ignore it is. And the mechanism by which that happens is specific and worth understanding. Because once you understand it, the 4-month delay becomes obviously irrational, rather than understandably cautious. The most common trigger for a check engine light in 2024, according to KMD's Vehicle Health Index, is catalytic converter efficiency codes, specifically codes like P0420, which indicate that catalytic converter's efficiency has dropped below the required threshold. The driver sees that code, hears catalytic converter from the service desk, and immediately assumes a $1,300 to $2,500 repair. But here is what the dealership does not lead with. Faulty oxygen sensors cause more unnecessary catalytic converter replacements than any other misdiagnosis. The downstream O2 sensor, which is critical for P0420 detection, can fail in ways that mimic converter failure. A faulty oxygen sensor costs between $150 and $500 to replace. The catalytic converter it appears to implicate costs $1,300 to $2,500. The difference between those two repair bills is a proper diagnosis, not the code itself, but the diagnostic work that confirms whether the code reflects a failed converter or a failed sensor producing a false reading. A local plumbing company brought in a service van after another shop recommended replacing the catalytic converter for $2,200. The mechanic performed a detailed diagnostic and found a faulty oxygen sensor, not a failing converter. Replacing the sensor for under $400 restored performance and avoided the unnecessary cost. This is not an isolated case. It is a documented pattern. The free scan from AutoZone gives you the code. The code gives you a starting point. The starting point gives you the knowledge to walk into any repair shop, independent mechanic, not dealership, and have an informed conversation about what the code actually means for your specific vehicle, rather than accepting the first and most expensive explanation offered. Here is the second thing the 4-month delay costs you, that nobody talks about. Fixing a serious issue like a faulty oxygen sensor can improve fuel economy by as much as 40%. According to fueleconomy.gov, the average American driver spends approximately $2,500 per year on fuel. A faulty oxygen sensor causing a 40% reduction in fuel efficiency is costing that driver roughly $1,000 per year in additional fuel spend, on top of the $400 repair they have been avoiding. For every month of the 4-month average delay, that driver is spending an additional $83 in fuel that a properly functioning oxygen sensor would not have required. The check engine light was not just warning them about a future repair bill. It was warning them about a current and ongoing fuel cost they were absorbing silently every time they filled up. And then there is the emissions test. Every state with mandatory emissions testing will fail a vehicle with an illuminated check engine light, regardless of whether the fault is minor. A driver in a mandatory inspection state who ignores the check engine light for 4 months and then discovers they cannot renew their vehicle registration without fixing the fault, potentially under time pressure, without the ability to shop the repair around or wait for a good deal on parts, is now in the weakest possible negotiating position. They need the car legal within a fixed time frame. They will pay whatever is being charged. The 4-month delay has converted a $400 repair into a $1,300 repair, plus a fuel efficiency penalty, plus a registration crisis. All of it was avoidable. All of it started with not knowing the free scan existed. Here is exactly what you do. Today, Not next week, today. Drive to the nearest AutoZone, O'Reilly Auto Parts, or Advance Auto Parts location. Walk in and ask for a check engine light scan. They will ask you to pull the vehicle to the front of the store. An associate will come out with a handheld scanner. Locate the diagnostic port under your steering wheel on the driver's side. Plug in the scanner and read the codes. The entire process takes under 5 minutes. They will print the codes for you. Take that printout and photograph it with your phone. Then do 2 things. First, search the exact code number, the alphanumeric code like P0420 or P0171, on any automotive forum or repair database. You will find thousands of documented cases of other drivers with the same code, what actually caused it in their vehicle, and what the repair cost. Second, take that code to an independent mechanic, not a dealership, and ask them to diagnose the root cause of the specific code before recommending any repair. A good independent shop will charge you $50 to $100 for a proper diagnosis. That $50 to $100 is the difference between replacing a $400 oxygen sensor and replacing a $2,200 catalytic converter that did not need replacing. You own that car. The information about what is wrong with it belongs to you. Your car's computer has been trying to give it to you for free since the moment the light came on. The only thing standing between you and that information has been a $150 diagnostic fee that was never necessary, and a 4-month delay that has been costing you money every single day. If this video gave you something you did not have before, subscribe and I will see you in the next one.